Hi there, my name is Kyle, and I guess for the while I've been struggling with calling this channel Styxnyx or Styxnyx. You know, I don't really care anymore. I just, you know what, I want to just rant about things. So this is going to be my first series, or my first video of my own vlog rant type things. So, a little bit about me. I am Kyle. I make video games. That's what I enjoy. I graduated, or not graduated yet, but going to the School of the Art Institute of Vancouver, which, mixed feelings about that school, but that's besides the point. What I want to point out right now is a rant that has been bubbling inside my head right now, and it is about the communities versus Dragon Ball Online Revelations versus the communities of Dragon Ball Online Global. Both of them are working on a Dragon Ball Online private server, which was a game that died because, I believe, what was it? Whoever owned the rights to the IP basically said, no, we don't want NTL, I believe is the company that was working on that game, and they were like, you weren't targeting a certain group, and therefore we are canceling the project. So a group of fans decided to revive the game because they enjoyed it so much. Now this is where I'm gonna be, you know, speaking about my rant, because the guy that's doing Dragon Ball Online Revelations is my best friend. So his name is Luke. He goes on the forums as Damook or Dumk or whatever you want to call him, but I just call him Luke. So anyways, without further ado, this is going to be the starting point of my rant. Alright, so here's where it's at. My friend Luke, doing Dragon Ball Online Revelations, is getting a lot of heat from another community called Dragon Ball Online Global. Now, I don't care which side does what. Ideally, I would like to root for my friend who's working on the Dragon Ball Online Revelations, simply because, you know, I want to be a good friend. But both people are working on the server, or both groups are working on the server, and they have divided the community in half. Now, to recap, Dragon Ball Online Revelations was the first group to work on this. In fact, prior to the game shutting down, they were starting to work on it because they knew the game was going down. A few months into their development process, they had their code leaked not once but twice. So it got picked up by HackForums, I believe is the community that does all their different private server groups. And then this group, Dragon Ball Online Global, decides to take in and create another community. Now, a lot of heat got towards Luke simply because he tried to maintain the source to the game as close as he could. You know, he wanted to keep it private. And fans of the game were like, man, that sounds like a bad idea. Why couldn't it just been open source? And you know, maybe they're trying to profit off of this game. And as I've spoken with him, I don't really see the profiteering that he's going with. But a lot of people on his website are basically complaining about, oh, there's ads, and you know, Dragon Ball Online Revelations is a greedy piece of work. Well, all that comes from the community of Dragon Ball Online Global. And it's cool to be a fan, it's cool to be a fanboy, but you should know where to draw the line when it comes to being a fanboy. I mean, you know, how many of my friends are, you know, pro Mac, and some of my friends, or actually more of my friends are pro Linux, compared to me who's just, you know, stuck on Windows because, you know, that's my development environment. I mean, yeah, sure, I might use a different OS, but I'm not going to be a fanboy and be like, oh, well, that right there, that operating system is so crappy. Why do you even bother? Why do you use that? You should be using this. And I'm like, because I'm not a dick who really wants to dictate how you live. or just be completely rude. So that is exactly what the community of Dragon Ball Online Global has been doing to the community of Dragon Ball Online Revelations. They continuously bash on their YouTube videos, they continuously bash on their forums, and overall, and on their Facebook page, and overall, it's just generating a lot of hate and negative energy when the original idea was to build a strong community that can withstand a lot. So the big major issue points is simply, oh well, you know, Dragon Ball Online is a game that is dead and we want to build a better community and not profit off of it, which is what Dragon Ball Online Global has stated. Now, I'm gonna show you a series of screenshots in a moment, but I just want to clarify that they are like, oh, we're not greedy, the other group is greedy. And it's a complete BS lie. You guys are being lied to, and you guys don't even realize it. If, you know, they say they have this investor, but if they have an investor, the investor would want a return on his investment, aka ROI. So, video games are created not just for profit, but also for whatever marketplace that they're targeting. But again, it is a business, and Dragon Ball Online Global has been like, oh, well, we've been getting all this money, we've been doing all this stuff, we're not trying to profit off of it, and that's where you go, really? What? There's only a few video game studios out there that don't really care about their profits, and those people are called indie developers. Now, some indie developers try to make a profit because, you know, it does take money, time, and resources to build a video game. These people working on either camp, I don't really care what their knowledge is, what they're trying to do to at least keep the server alive. But I think that the notion of saying, hey, I'm gonna put ads on my website, I think that's a good starting point. Versus the other group, aka Dragon Ball Online Global, who just recently started their donation campaign towards a game that isn't even out yet. So if you look at the numbers, they've already made an easy $4,000 off a sheep. And I guess if you want to contribute towards somebody who's working towards their dreams, I think that's great. But at the same time, you shouldn't just be like, oh, well, you know, this community sucks, and this community, I don't know why, but I think they're god high. You know, oh man, I'm just so in love with you. Seriously? No. You should just open up your eyes, and I'm gonna hope that these following screenshots really sink in. So, without further ado again, here you go. in conclusion to my rant, I just hope that you guys would just treat each other better. You guys in both camps are trying to work on a game together. Now I know there's supposed to be competition, every marketplace has its competition, but you guys have the same goals in terms of uniting a community, so why not work together? I mean, that's just my thought, but wouldn't it be better to have a server have 10,000 players versus a server, again, this isn't an MMORPG game where it's just a massive world, and wouldn't it be better to have that's huge community versus a community that's only, I don't know, 500 players at max, where you rarely see a player, unless you're in a major city, and in that case you will see several players. And that's where I kind of hate private servers in general, because I don't want to be a part of a community that's so small and minute. I want to be a part of a massive community of wealth and intelligence and knowledge of the game. But, you know, the choice is up to you. Do you want to continue having hate towards one camp towards another? Or do you want to mend fences and bring peace? This is my Asian monk saying, please, please, have peace. And with that said, peace out.